All right. What's going on? We have officially made it to the first Card of Lies News Tuesday. Not being recorded on Tuesday, though. It's being recorded on Monday. Let me get straight to the news. Let's start with everything we've got going on with Card of Lies. Lots of great things happening, despite working nonstop. We had the opportunity to sit down with a famous producer, and we're in the middle of talking through recording one of the most recent songs we wrote, called Cockadoodle. If you want a small snippet of a demo, I can show you something there. We sat down with this producer, and he seems to like it, and we're in the middle of talks on coming up with a game plan on recording it, and I think it's going to be something really good for us. We already recorded a demo, and I kind of throw demo around very loosely because it's not like the older days when, like, you would have to record a demo on a little 8-track because you couldn't afford 100 tracks of something. And now we're at a point where everything that's recorded, there is the ability to actually produce it. And I put in my best ability at producing it, sent that over to him, and he's like, hey, this is really awesome. We're going to start, let's actually make something of this. The opportunity was really cool. We'd never done anything like that. He showed us one part of the song that needed a little bit of work, and instead of feeling like there was like a creative overreach, I completely understood where he was coming from, and it made sense logically. So I'm really excited to hear where it goes. If you follow us on Instagram, if you don't, here's our handle. We went to the lake the other day. For me, it was 2 days ago, and had a great time. It was like our little beach episode, everything went really good. We brought a boat out, and we were being pulled on a tube behind the boat. I messed up my knee really, really bad, hyperextended it, and I'm limping around everywhere, and even feeling my knee right now, it's like hot to the touch. But it was cool, and that was kind of our past week. Over the next coming week, we should be trying out someone new on bass. Depending on how things go, we'll have more information about that next week. And hopefully things go good. I have a feeling like we're going to mesh really well. We have similar music tastes. Now we can start getting into some of the stuff that's going on in the local scene. I found out yesterday that one of our close friends, one of our first friends that I ever made in the scene under Psycho, his name was Mark. I found out today that he passed away, and it's very sad, very unfortunate. He was super close, and to my understanding, he treated everyone like family. He was very close, very protective, and had a really good fucking music taste. So, rest in peace, Mark. Some other stuff that's going on in the local scene. We got a show calendar that Vegas Underground does with Micklin and Blank Slate. I'll put that calendar somewhere over here, somewhere over there. Looking over at next month's calendar that's already been posted for September, look at September 19th real closely. I'll be working on a flyer for that show, and we may or may not be on the lineup for that show. You'll just have to stick around and see. Outside of that kind of wraps everything up on the local scene side. Going into what's going on in the big world, in the giant side of this giant umbrella called the music industry. I don't really have anything in specific that I want to talk about. I don't think anything's really worth talking about. We had the guitarist from Mastodon. He died in a motorcycle crash, I heard. And it's very unfortunate. I used to have one of his guitar picks, and it was one of the first guitar picks that I'd caught from a concert. And it was one that he actually played. It was super cool. I guess in another side of everything, Neural DSP recently released Mantra, and I'm curious what you guys think about it. I've used it a little bit for my recording, and I'm not sure if it stops at, the tracking side of recording, and once it's tracked and I have my reference vocal, if I should be using that to jump over to different plugins when I'm actually mixing and mastering. I've only used it for quick tracking stuff, and I don't really like spending days on, mixing. I don't find a lot of joy in that, as I'm working on my creativity. I don't like that world to get too muddied up. But it's been a pretty sick plugin, and I feel like it might be the future, and it might slowly go, hey, this is really easy to get quick results from, and it's really easy to keep that same plugin and use more plugins to kind of tweak and bring up certain aspects depending on how you use Mantra as your vocal reference. I think it's pretty awesome. Moving forward from there, I also heard Neural DSP put the Parallax bass plugin, as well as some others. I think they put Tim Henson and Corey Wong, if I remember, in their Quad Cortex. I personally don't have a Quad Cortex. I play an Axe Effects when I do my live shows, but I record with Neural DSP plugins, and it would be really nice to be able to take those exact same presets from those exact plugins, put them through a power amp, and play them through an amp on stage. I think that would be a really cool option, and I think it would also sort of make my Axe Effects obsolete. I'm thinking of using that more as a giant effects block when recording than using it in a touring sense, just because it's really nice to have a small little pedal that has everything that I need in it, and it's not as hard to figure out and dial in tones. It's very just plug and play, and that's something that's really needed on show days where I have less than 15 minutes to get our entire band on stage, and then I play my guitar, and for some reason it doesn't sound the way I want it to on stage. It's easier to just dial that stuff in on a Quad Cortex. So, thinking about buying one. I've been thinking about buying one for months now, but it's hard getting money to do all this stuff. As far as that goes, I think later on in the week I'm going to be doing some separate videos. I recently ordered these light poles that connect to they're light poles that connect to the poles that I used to use for my past shows. I'll put a picture up for it here. I want to start bringing it back, but I want to make it pixel controlled rather than an entire bar. So I don't want the whole bar to just be white. What if I want to make it one pixel and have a movement going up the pole? Well, I bought 2 poles and I bought a controller, and if those 2 work really well, I'll buy 2 more poles, and I might start having a lighting rig when playing shows, just because I can. And I have the knowledge in Resolume, I have the knowledge in sending MIDI to computers and setting up that MIDI time clock in computers. I'm like, I might as well be doing this, and if I'm still playing to a click track in the coming future, it would be really cool to time code shows with these crazy light drops and stuff like that, maybe strobes. So that's something that I'm also working on, and as soon as I get the parts for it, I'll make a video on it. They are Chinese lights. They're by Yuer, Y-U-E-R, and no one makes videos about this stuff. I don't know if it's because they're ashamed of using Chinese products or if it's because they're just not good and they never work to the point where they get a video. But I want a video on it because there isn't one that exists, and that's going to be a common thing with this channel. So you can look forward to that. You could also look forward to a rig setup thing sometime later on this week. Hopefully get some more content coming out. As far as that goes, I think I hit everything that that I had to talk about. If you have anything that you want to bring up that you feel like I missed, bring it up in a comment section, and I'll probably bring it up in the next video. And without further ado, I think it's time for me to skedaddle. Adios. See you later.